Hi, Shannon O'Flaherty here, and it's wonderful to see you all here. And tonight I'm going to be talking to you about the throat chakra and spirituality. In fact, I'm not just going to be talking about the throat chakra, I'm going to be talking about all of the chakras and um, and how they kind of work together because we're never just one part of our whole body system, right? So your throat chakra, as you know from the last trainings, is really about your creativity. And when your creativity is blocked, you might be having a throat chakra issue. But you might also be having issues in other parts of your body too, in different chakras, because creativity isn't just for the throat chakra, it's for other chakras as well. Your throat chakra might also be your inability to see subtle energies or feeling disconnected from the divine or your inner spirit, but not just your throat chakra. You might feel all of those things if another chakra was out of whack. And even if all of your chakras are balanced, that doesn't necessarily mean that, say, your root chakra, for example, is getting along with your solar plexus chakra. So there might be an imbalance between those two chakras. So there's all sorts of different kind of like highways in a way that mold together and lead from one thing to the other place. There's a lot of overlapping in our energetic systems, right? So just if you've seen my trainings, I've spoken about each chakra in turn and why I talk about the chakras. That's very little part of the work that I actually do. The chakra system is a wonderful map of how our energy systems work. And because each chakra is a vortex, like a funnel really of energy that is either working overtime and being far too expansive or not working enough and being kind of closed. And each chakra is associated with different organs and different belief systems and different thought patterns, right? It's just a good map in order to go through the whole body and deal with all of the different things, all of the different limiting beliefs, all of those different pixelated parts, those shadow parts in us, to find them and clear them out. And so the root chakra is in the root. It's right between your front and back privies, and it points down and kind of front and back. And this is about abundance, sits in your root chakra, right? So if you've got something out of whack in any slice of your life's pie, right? In your relationships, in your finances, in your work, in your home, in your community, if anything is out of whack in your health, it's going to affect all of the slices of pie in your life, right? So if your abundance belief sets are not working, if they're not working for you, that's not just simply going to affect your root chakra or your abundance or just your work. It's going to affect absolutely every part of your body energetically. It's going to affect you mentally. It's going to affect you spiritually, emotionally, physically, every part, right? Get it? We're all connected. So your root chakra is largely about abundance, but it's also about our connection to the earth, right? And how we feel grounded. And we need that grounding so that the rest of our chakras can function as well, right? Because how can we possibly express our truth, access our spirituality, be connected to our divine purpose and all of that if we're not grounded, right? So that's definitely using our root chakra to help our throat chakra work more efficiently. And our second chakra, our sacral chakra, which is just below the belly button, That's really like our center of personal power. It's also about our sexuality and where all of that kind of energy lives. And passion, right, comes from that area. And so we need to have a strong center, because if you don't have a strong center, how are you going to stay in balance, right? We need all of these components working together and all of the belief systems that go with it. So there's a lot of feelings about not feeling good enough or just not feeling like you're enough. And if you are feeling those things, coming back up to the throat chakra, how are you going to speak confidently and communicate effectively if deep down inside in your dark pixelated parts that you haven't found because they're suppressed at a subconscious level, how are you going to communicate confidently if you don't feel good enough, right? So these all work together. And then our solar plexus chakra, right at the bottom of the sternum bone, that's about so many things, but like, let's just talk about digestion, not just how we digest food, but how we digest concepts, situations, take in information, and also how we give it out. So that needs to be working effectively, because if that's not working effectively, how are we going to be able to then speak what we're thinking and how we're processing? How are we going to be able to communicate how we're processing all of that information unless that is working properly too? So it's really very interesting, all of the different energies that are associated with the whole human body and our chakras, and what we're giving out and what we're taking in, and what kind of energies we're picking up based on our perceptions, right? On our mindsets. If you have an angry defensive mindset all of the time, that's what you're giving out, and that's also how you're going to take things, because right, that's kind of person that you are. But if you have a positive, willing, open, loving mindset, that's what you're giving out, and that's also how you're going to perceive the world, because that's the kind of person that you are. But you're not cemented into the kind of person that you are. I mean, think about, okay, well, kids, they grow up, but think about how you were. Like, say, if you're somebody who's in your 50s now, think about how you were when you were in your 20s. Are you exactly the same as you were in your 20s, or have you had some life experience now and you've grown and you've made mistakes and you've made plans and you've been heartbroken maybe a couple times, right? And so all of these life experiences go in, and you've had some aha moments along the way to make you change and become a better person, come into the person that you have become, right? You can do this not by having to just wait 30 years and have a life full of experience. You can do this in one hot minute, sitting on your own and doing belief work and changing the neural pathways in your brain. There's a video in that section too, in the training section, that shows how our neural pathways in the brain works. There's lots of really good training in there. So if you guys haven't been watching the live trainings, they're all there. It used to be called the units section. They've changed what it's called now. I don't remember what it's called, but it's play around in the Facebook group and go and look and watch these trainings, because there's a lot of really good information in there. But I can tell you for sure, it's called in the guide section now. But I can tell you for sure that all of these trainings, it is just like, skimming the top of the work that I actually do, and the healing work and the spiritual coaching work that I do with people and teach people about, because there's so much information, and most of this stuff you can go and find a guide online anywhere you want. But there's so much more involved. And by marrying energy work with belief work, it's really quite profound and can seriously, seriously shift you. And not only that, but it can empower you because it gives you the tools that you need in order to consciously and consistently make the changes you need to make in yourself when you notice that something isn't working for you, so that you can turn it around so that it can work for you. I remember when I was 25, I think, and I don't know, it was all happening in 1 week. At least that's how I remember it, right? In 1 week, more than a few people had said to me, "Gosh, why are you so defensive? Gosh, why are you so defensive? You're defensive. Why so defensive?" And I was thinking, why? I'm not defensive, defensively. I said, I'm not defensive. But I thought, like, well, people kept feeding back this information to me. And eventually I heard it and I thought, why am I being defensive? I didn't feel like I was being defensive, but that's how all of these people were taking me. And so I started to pay attention to that defensiveness thing. And then I realized, gosh, I am being defensive. And then I started to ask myself questions. Well, why? Why am I always on the defense? Right. So that was learning. Nobody taught that to me, but we can go digging for our pixelated parts that are in us, the parts that are not lit up, the parts that are suppressed. And people generally don't go into healing because they think it's going to be too upsetting. But what's more upsetting, to live a life that's only just kind of okay or even terrible, or to go look under the bed, go find out if the scary monster is actually under there and actually do something and take the reins of your life and make a change so that you can make the tweaks you need to tweak in order to change your whole way of being. And I didn't have a coach or mentor or guide. I had to learn all of this for myself. I did go and study and take lots of classes and studied and trained with masters, but I've taken all of the best bits from everything that I've ever studied and fused them together so that there's a really fast, easy way to get down to the roots of what's holding you back, to figure out what it is quickly, and to go there and change it like this. And you do have to do the work and practice, but then you're changed and you have a much better and clearer understanding. And then your throat chakra is going to work in ways for you that you've never even noticed before, because suddenly you're going to be communicating in a whole new way. You're going to be receiving the world in a whole new way, because your throat chakra is also about how you receive and take in information. You're going to feel exuberantly connected to the divine and your inner spirit, and you're going to get creative in all sorts of ways, because when you lighten up a dark part of yourself or unblock something, what happens is that more light can shine in. And so opportunities that are just out here floating in your energetic field that you don't know because you haven't received them yet, more opportunities are going to come to you than ever before. And you're going to get very excited and change your whole way of being. So energy begets energy is what I'm trying to say. And when your throat chakra is working and you're connected to your source, to your spirituality, your emotions are working, your mental mindset is working, you start to make healthier choices with your diet and your food. So even your body gets better because you feel like you want to be out in nature more. So maybe you go hiking more, or you do something, or you exercise more. Everything affects everything else. And so I want you to hear this because your throat chakra and spirituality is really about all of your chakras working well together. And I haven't even talked about your third eye yet, or your crown chakra. And those are not just about psychic intuition. They have a lot more to offer too. And everything works as a whole. And so if you're interested in hearing about where you might be blocked or where you're blocking yourself, because we have to take responsibility for everything that we do, then I'd really love to speak with you. And so please book a complimentary mind shift call with me. And I'd love to have a chat with you and see where you're at right now. And let's see if we'd be a great fit to work together. So happy speaking, happy receiving. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.